All right. Good morning. Let's talk about some stuff. Today feels a little different. Yesterday we uploaded a video that kind of told the story of how I got to where I am now. And I want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing this whole time. I've been trying to build this company. I've been trying to build like a brand and, figure out what my actual direction is in this outdoor living industry. And I've been building this runway. And now it's time for the airplane to take off. So we're going to touch on a couple things. I've built all this stuff. And then the question is, now what? Like, we're licensed, we're bonded, we're insured. We've got quite a few decks under our belts. We don't have a lot of budget. We don't have a lot of capital. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about my staff, and I want to talk about what we currently have on the plate. I want to talk about trying to stay optimistic in the doom and gloom of it all. And I want to talk about, some of the challenges that we're facing currently right now, and what I need to do today to kind of set myself up for a better position tomorrow. Every single day is a work in progress. Every single day is a little stone placed on the path that moves us forward in the direction we want to go. So let's talk about my staff. Right now, I've got 3 guys that I'm trying to bring on board and bring with me on this journey. And one guy's name is Dan, one guy's name is Brody, and the last guy's name is Zane. And they all have very unique, different skill sets that can be applied and utilized in my business. Slow times in the contracting world brings on a lot of stress. There's so much uncertainty. There's a lot of gambling that goes along with like trying to go after worthwhile projects, weeding through all the customers that just, for lack of a better term, tire kickers that like want to know your price. And you can get really lost in the rat race on apps like Nextdoor, Facebook. I'm not even going to talk about Angie's List or TaskRabbit or some of those other apps out there that are just they're just pirates. They're just sharks. But if I'm the guy who's like chiming in with 20 other general contracting companies for some person's post on Nextdoor that says like, looking to have a deck built. We're just trying to get prices right now. And I go, hey, look at me, look at us. Like, we could do it. We're kind of subjecting ourselves to, first off, a clientele that we're not trying to focus on. And second, we're setting ourselves up for competition about price. And that's not what we're trying to do. So, how do I keep my staff happy and loyal to the cause and excited about growth and understanding that this will come in waves, and the waves will slowly get bigger and they will start to even out, and before you know it, we are sailing on the high seas. So Dan has a side bartending job that he works in the evenings. Brody runs a small auto detailing business out of the back of his truck. And Zane does catering events for the local museum here and has another source of income. All that said, I'm really glad that my guys have those extra avenues to bring in money because I'm building something here and it's not going to come all at once at one time. So of course I'm in a place where I want, I always try to stay really optimistic because what else can you do? You just be pessimistic and everything is doom and gloom. And so I try to stay as positive as I can and try to keep training my brain to say, like, look, this is going to work out. You are making all the right steps. You are figuring out your own path. And in that, I feel like I'm really looking forward to the time when I can say, all right, guys, quit all your jobs. Like, you're coming with me. We're going to double check the health of this business every 6 months. And that's going to get reflected in how everyone is compensated. So if you've taken the time to dedicate your time and your effort and your attention to learning and doing things the way that we want to do things here at Promontory Decking, I'm going to make a guarantee out there that you're coming to the top with me. There are certain realities that we face in this economy and what we have to deal with as just people trying to operate in the United States today. Like how much the cost of living is and how much bills are and how much gas is to be driving around work trucks on your own dime. There's a commitment there that my guys have made, and I am forever grateful for that, even if it's for a short period of time. The fact that they decided to spend their time working with Promontory Decking that means a lot to me. And I think constantly about what I need to do in order to bring money in, not only for myself, but for them. Because these guys have families, wives, kids, girlfriends, bills, just like I do. And I feel a certain responsibility to make sure that their bellies are full. And luckily, I'm in a position right now where my guys have another little avenue for making money. So I want to talk about a little bit about what we have on our plates right now. And, it's not a lot. It's a couple really soft ideas out there. Preliminary talks, projects still in discovery. And we're doing something that's right now I'm working on something that's a little bit outside of my expertise, but I'm not scared of trying new things, and I'm not scared of leaning on my previous experience to deliver something new. And in this case, I have a current client. I've done a bunch of work for them in the past. We've done a lot of like backyard makeover stuff, some fencing work, a lot of gates. This is the project that had a bunch of bamboo work done. Now, this client has a sauna building business here in San Diego that's been operating for a very long time. But he wants to have a sauna built in his backyard at his personal property. And he's asked me to frame the building. Now, a couple things about this is like I don't quite understand how saunas are made and delivered. I mean, let me back up. I understand exactly what a sauna is and how it operates, but I don't understand how a business has gotten so far down the line focusing just on saunas. They must be doing something correctly. They must be doing something at a very high level in order to stay in business for this long in San Diego. So I'm kind of excited, nervous, apprehensive, but yet optimistic about doing this project. Now, I use SketchUp to help me figure out designs, dimensions, plan out material lists. Now, keep in mind, this structure that we're going to build is small. It's like 6.5 feet deep, 7.5 feet wide, and stands about 7 feet tall. The roofing structure is four-sided. It has a ridge beam and bird's mouth cuts with an overhanging soffit. It's going to have a sliding glass door and a long 5-foot tall glass window. And we're not going to be doing any of the finish on the inside. This is just about stick framing the building, pouring the pad, figuring out how they want the floor to look. So I'm still in this like phase of working back and forth about trying to figure out exactly what we want to have done there and what am I going to do to deliver this to this client. Now, keep in mind, this is a guy who builds saunas who's asking me to build a sauna when he has a business that builds saunas. So, but I really want to learn how to do this. I really want to tackle this project. And I don't think I'm competing with any other contractor out there. So I kind of can take my time a little bit and make sure that I have a really solid design, a really good idea about what we're building, how it's going to get built. And yeah, so that's basically that's the closest and realist thing I have right now towards money in the bank before the end of the month. I need to figure something out because capital's running out quickly. The second thing that we have on deck is some very soft talks about a rooftop deck with high-class quality materials on a beautiful multi-million-dollar house in La Jolla. I don't know how they reached out to me or how they got my name, but I went out and I met the property owner, and he's going to have a liaison, like a staff member of his, running point on this project with me. Now, this project has the potential of really launching promontory decking a few levels in the deck building world. It has all the elements of expert level deck building in it. It overlooks the Pacific Ocean. So a high quality like IG glass railing with low voltage lighting is perfect for this job. It also has this beautiful radius on the front of the house, which means bending some deck boards is right up this project's alley. There's a lot of logistical nightmares and a lot of questions that I have in order to arrive at a place where I can be like, here's what it's going to look like and here's what it's going to cost to build. But I'm not quite getting that correspondence I need from this liaison to get to that point. Now I'm battling with a little bit of like my process here and a little bit of self-doubt. Like, am I doing something wrong that's not getting me what I need from that customer? Am I being too wordy? Am I being too needy? Do I need to start making some more assumptions on my own in order to guide them to where they want or what they want to see in my bid? Because I'll tell you one thing I won't do is I won't just be like, oh, it's going to cost $120K. And then realize down the line that like a crane truck and all the materials that we've chosen, like we don't even have a finalized shape. We have a rooftop deck with a lot of square footage and we don't really understand where this deck is going to go. And I could go back and forth with AI renderings. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And we could do this back and forth thing forever, but without a little bit of direction, I'm spinning my wheels and I'm wasting my time. And so I've put the ball in their court. Listen, I need a second walkthrough and I need to go through and I need to figure out exactly what our footprint is. Otherwise, I can't give you what you're asking me for. And I'm hoping that because I'm trying my best to be extremely detailed and get all of the information I need, that they're going to end up choosing me. But I know that that can also be off-putting. I know that that can be like, whoa, that guy just wanted to talk for hours and had way too many questions, and we just want to know what it costs to build a deck. In fact, I don't even know how realistic we are on this project about them really wanting to spend any money. They may look at a price tag and they have zero idea or understanding of what it costs to build a deck, especially on top of a multi-million-dollar house in La Jolla, a big permanent job. They have no idea what that costs. So getting to that point, like, let's just say we get all there. We do all those things. We get all those steps. We figure out what our footprint is. We narrow down all of our material choices, and we arrive at a labor cost, and we arrive at a final bid. Here's what it's going to cost to do it. And they look at it and they go, holy crap, that's a lot of money. That's exactly where we are right now. And this is kind of the thing that we deal with, or that I deal with on a daily basis. You know, I get a lot of people that, you know, I don't want to say a lot of people, you know, because we're still in the building phase of all this. But every bid that I get in, I have to kind of like weigh, is this worth my time? Like, should I just give them a ballpark and then keep moving forward with what I really want to do? Because there's a lot of people that are ill-informed about what it costs to build in California. There are a bunch of hoops, a bunch of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of permitting, a lot of slowing down the process. It takes a lot of patience and fortitude to get a project completed and to get to a point where everybody wins. Everybody's happy. The company's made a little bit of money. The customer has this wonderful new space where they get to spend their time with their family and create memories, and it adds property value to their current house or their, you know, whatever their property entails. And there's a lot of hoops to jump through. So right now, those are like the two big things that I have on our plate, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I turn this into real money? How do I get those there? And all the while, I realize, like, I want to start talking about all these things that go on in my head as a new contractor, and how I navigate all those things to, like, get us to the real money. So right now I need to talk about, like, what do I do next? What am I doing today to get me further down the road with either one of those opportunities? Now, I'm going to try and focus mostly on the sauna, because that's, to me, that's the most realistic path to revenue. So today I need to work on SketchUp. I need to work on my final design for how the roof is going to look. The clients are trying to match this new structure to an existing ADU that they have on their property. They want the roofs to look the same. Now I have a bunch of pictures, and so I need to pitch them on a render. So I'm going to be working with AI a little bit about what my design is, where I want it placed in their backyard, and what it's going to kind of look like. And then I have to go into SketchUp, and I have to frame it all out virtually. I need to figure out exactly what it's going to cost, how much time it's going to take us to do this way. And I need to work through some of the details with my client about the things that they're doing on the inside that will affect how it's built from the outside. For instance, they're doing this beautiful salt rock wall that's lit up with an LED, and it's kind of like this yellow see-through rock in the background behind the seats of the sauna. Now, do I need to put a header above that with a bunch of cripple studs? You know, these are some details that I don't quite understand what I need to do from a framing standpoint to build this structure for them. And then secondly, can we match the roofing tiles? Can we find that same product that looks the same as what already exists on their property? Then I need to, once I'm done with all that, I'm going to send that over for approval. And then I need to get together all my material list. How many 2x4s am I going to need? How much sheathing am I going to need? Am I doing the door? Am I installing the door and the windows? Or is that something that the sauna company is going to do? So there's still a lot of unanswered questions. So I need to work diligently on that. This morning before I started this video, I've already sent out an email to the liaison that I'll be working with on the rooftop deck, and I need to schedule a second walkthrough with them. My first walkthrough, I just talked with the homeowner, and the guy is busy. He runs, it seems to me like a myriad of different businesses, and doesn't really need to take the time to like talk with a deck builder about a deck at one of his several properties. He has staff members to handle those issues with him. So I need to talk with his liaison, meet her in person, and really get an understanding about how realistic this project is. Because if it is realistic, then I need to have full horse blinders and attentions paid to this project. There's no way that I can just kind of do this while also fishing for other stuff. So it's always like a little bit of a gamble. So that's basically what today's episode is. What am I going to do today to get me closest to revenue coming in the door, and prioritize those tasks? So thank you guys for paying attention. We're going to keep cranking out these episodes, and please feel free to like in the comments, like, share, talk about, ask me questions. Let me know what you guys want me to start touching on. Because if you are starting a contracting business in California, maybe I can help shine a little bit of light on some of that. And please stay tuned into the next couple episodes, because we're going to touch on some specific topics, like how I got licensed, what my path was to do that, because it's kind of unique. What I'm planning on doing with this YouTube channel. What do my individual staff members bring to the table? Then let's talk about logistics. Like, what kind of vehicles am I running? What kind of tools do I like to use? What kind of relationships have I built within the industry? And who do I lean on when I have questions about processes or permitting or inspections or whatever? There's a lot that we can touch on. And I thank you for coming along on this journey with me, and stay tuned. We'll have a bunch more. Thank you. Cheers, everybody. Have a wonderful Tuesday.